There's certain anime that when I watch, it makes me aspire to attain whatever the main character has in that story. And when it comes to romance anime, or at least stories that have a romantic element to it, it makes me say relationship goals, that must be nice. I need something like that. Whether it's Banished from the Hero's Party, where I desire that quiet, rural, off the grid lifestyle, where a woman like Rit just wants to cater to you in every way, or Spy Family that makes you want a family, and someone like Yor who just wants to be a wife and mother more than anything in the world. But there's one anime as of recent that really made me say, damn, I want that. And that is Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again. Now, this shouldn't even be labeled a romance anime. It should be categorized as science fiction because a love like this it can't exist. It's just too good to be true. It's about an elderly couple who have an apple farm, which they both work well to maintain together. And one day they discover a golden apple. And after eating it, the next day, the guy somehow is thrown back into his youth, staring into a mirror, completely shocked. Then finds the same phenomenon has happened to his wife. And the way he jumps on her at first sight, I don't blame him. He probably got his libido back, and seeing his wife like that, he don't know how to act. And that's what makes this anime so special. It's so heartwarming and at the same time has such a good sense of humor to it, just making it cozy to watch. When they're around their, I guess, used to be peers, all the elderly women are looking at him like a snack, and when she appears before the men, they damn near have a heart attack from her presence alone. And it made me think about that quote, like just randomly, like youth is wasted on the young. And it must be cool to have a lifetime of wisdom while being young at the same time. I mean, I can only imagine. It's like a video game you beaten already, and the second time around you can speed run through because you already know where all the obstacles are and it's like a breeze. And of course, on breaking the news to their family, they find all of this incredible, with the granddaughter finding all of this amusing, which leads to its own comedy that the show makes fun of in its own way. And the grandma realizes how handsome her husband is, gets jealous a bit, adding some more lighthearted comedy to it. And for an annual sports festival, the grandpa becomes an obvious candidate to enter when shocking everyone with his now young physique. Now able to compete against the rivals, and with the cheering section from his hot granny wife, he wins the tug of war. You know, it just occurred to me, I thought Seiko was the first hot granny, but she might have competition now. Then when it comes to them participating together, the way they work in unison with each other, like effortlessly, it just makes you wish you had something like that. Like, that's the perfect date for your love to just shine. Now, what really makes this story so sweet is how the grandpa regrets not being able to treat his wife to a proper honeymoon when they were young, and promises to make up for it now that they have a second chance at youth. And the way the wife just makes it clear that it's unnecessary and all that she needs in life is his company. That's what fulfills her and what she truly desires above all. And you can't but help but have your heart melt when watching it. And that's why I say this is a sci-fi anime, because a love like that just can't exist. It's too good to be true. Part of the plot is that they both revert back and forth to their old age, then back to their youth, on and off again through the show. And there's one episode where the wife, when going back to her youth, loses all of her memories of her current life before she even met her husband. Mentally, she reverts back to the same age her body resembles, with no knowledge of the technology that's around her, and her husband is now a stranger to her. But she comedically makes a proposition to him to make her fall in love with him all over again. So in doing so, he reintroduces her to the simplest of things, like how to use a rice cooker. She's easily impressed by just condiment containers, surprised that he helps around the kitchen compared to her memories from back then, when culturally women only did so, and how they also work on the farm together when men only did so as well. And you can tell at times he is slightly sad inside that the woman he loves has no memory of her at all, and in her noticing, that saddens her as well. Even with the rest of her family, she wishes she had her memories restored of all of them. But still, even despite that, she feels a sense of warmth when around them, feeling nostalgic when with her husband doing the littlest of tasks. There's a scene where she visits her older sister in an old folks home, someone who she only remembers when they were young, and her sister in her old age has no memory of even having a sibling due to amnesia. She attempts to play the piano beside her, hoping to trigger a memory of habit of when they played together in their youth, and like it's automatic, the older sister begins to play along with her, surprising the nurse and him as well. It gives her a moment to cherish, and as I'm watching this, I'm asking, why is this so heartwarming and cozy? This whole anime is just feel good. And you could just feel her sense of joy to be able to interact with her sister in this way. And it's just a good scene overall. But this last scene I'm going to touch on for this video is what really got to me. There's a point where she's left alone while he's on an errand, and it's the first time being without him since losing her memory. She begins to feel anxious, but wonders why, because she now knows how to be self-sufficient in daily life without his assistance. So she tries to rationalize her anxiety and that there's no reason to feel such a way. But for some reason, now more than ever, she wants him to return home quickly, and that his presence alone she can't be without, feeling empty and lonely from just the lack of it. Slowly, her memories begin to return, and seeing a montage of how they fell in love with each other, his promise to her that he'll always be there for her no matter what. And this part, you'll just have to watch, because any description I try won't do this justice of how feel good this is. When he arrives home, she rushes to him, thinking to herself, it was foolish to think he had to make her fall in love all over again. That regardless of how many times she loses her memory, her love for him will always remain while running into his arms. As he realizes her memories return, he simply says, "Welcome home." I mean, this whole scene just hits hard. Like, I really do appreciate anime like this. And while I do enjoy psychological or dramatic ones like Vinland Saga, for instance, it's good to switch it up with something like this to just put you in a good vibe, heartwarming, makes you forget about all the ills happening in the world. And it just makes you love life, sometimes hoping you'll get a fraction of this type of love. But that's all I have for this video. If you are interested in watching this, it's called Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again. Like I said, it's feel good all of the way. If you haven't already, check out my music on Spotify, link in the description. If you enjoy those Samurai Champloo, lo-fi, mellow boom bap vibes, then my music is definitely for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Free think. Peace.